So here you have the 2016, this is junior cert higher level, this is coordinate geometry. And the first thing that it says, they give us a triangle. So I'm going to just roughly draw out what they give us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then -1. So there's a point. So I'll just put the diagram up as well. So we have this, this, and this, and they're all joined together. So it asks us, and then it says this is C, this is A, and this is B. It asks us to give us the coordinates of A, B, and C. So the coordinates first are the x value, then the y value. So how far we go across and how far we go up. So say for A, well, it's here, so it's going to be the -x. We went across -1 and we went up to 3, so that should be at 3 there. So A is -1, 3, and then B, we went across to 5 and we went up to 3, so B is just at 3 there, so it'll be 5, 3. And C, we went across -1 and then we went up 8, so C is going to be -1, 8. And then it says find the equation of each of the lines. So we're asked to find the equation of AB, AC, and then BC. So firstly, we should know that when we just have a straight line that's going up straight through, say, the y-axis here, the slope of any horizontal line is 0. So say if we want the equation of a line that's just parallel to the x-axis, it's just horizontal and it just goes through the point y is equal to 1. Well, the equation for the formula for the equation of a line is y minus y1 is equal to x minus x1, but the slope is 0, so it's just going to be y minus 1 is equal to 0, so y is equal to 1. So basically, if we have a horizontal line that goes through 1, the equation of that will be y is equal to 1. If we have a horizontal line that goes through 2, the equation of that will be y is equal to 2. But this AB, we have a horizontal line that goes through 3, so the equation is going to be y is equal to 3. But that's when it goes through the y-axis. But say if we have a line, say if we have a vertical line, the slope is the rise over the run. And because with a vertical line, the run is 0, so we can't divide by 0, so the slope of a vertical line isn't defined. So we can't use the slope formula to get the slope of a vertical line. But say if we have a vertical line that goes always through x is equal to 1. Well, this is the line, the formula for that equation of this line is x is equal to 1. If we have a vertical line that goes through just 2 on the x-axis, it's going to be x is equal to 2. So AC is a vertical line and it's going through the point -1. So it's going to be x is equal to -1. And then we're asked to get the equation of BC. So because BC isn't a vertical line or a horizontal line, we're going to have to actually do it out properly. So in order to get the equation of the line, the easiest one way to do it, we can go y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. In order to use this, I need a slope and I need a point. So I have 2 points, so I just need to get my slope. So my point C is -1, 8 and B is 5, 3. So I'm going to have to use these 2 points to get my slope. But my slope always has to go from left to right. So I have to pick the one that has the lowest x value as my x1, y1. So the formula for the equation of formula for a slope is given by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But our x1 and our y1 has to be the one that's closest to the left. So we have -1, 8, and that's C, and then we have B, which is 5, 3. So because C is closest to the left, this has to be our x1, y1, and this has to be our x2, y2. So now our formula for the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 3 minus y1 is minus 8, x2 is 5 minus x1, so minus 1. So that's going to be 3 minus 8, so that's going to be minus 5. And then 5 plus 1, so that'll be 5 plus 1, so that'll be 6. So our slope is going to be minus 5 over 6. So now we have a slope, so M they usually call for the slope, and we just need a point, so we can pick either B or C, so I'll just pick C, so minus 1, 8. So I'll sub that in for x1, y1, and we have our slope. So our formula is y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. So y minus y1, so minus 8, is equal to m, which is minus 5 over 6, x minus x1, so minus 1. So that's going to be, so firstly, when we have this here, in order to get this kind of out, usually in the way they want it, we might have to get rid of our fraction. So in order to get rid of our fraction, so that's just a minus there, it shouldn't be 2 dots, we're going to have to multiply both sides by 6, because if we multiply and divide by the exact same number on top and bottom, it'll just be 1. So we're going to have to multiply both sides by 6, so by 6 and then by 6. So this whole side is multiplied by 6, so that's going to be 6y, and then 6 by 8 is minus 6 by minus 8 is minus 48, and then that's going to be minus 5, and then x, and then that's minus 1, so that's going to be plus 1. So then that's going to be 6y minus 48 is equal to minus 5x, and then minus 5. So then I might bring everything over to the side that gives me a positive x. So 5x plus 6y minus 48 plus 5 is equal to 0. So 5x plus 6y and then minus 43 is equal to 0. And that is my equation of BC. So then the next one, I used trigonometry to find the measure of the angle. So the angle ABC. So I'm after getting a good bit of information. So firstly, to use trigonometry, I'm going to have to treat this as more so a triangle. So if I want to you want to use trigonometry to find the measure of the angle, I need to know distances and lengths. If I want to get the distance of just a vertical line, I can literally just count up. That goes from 3 to 8. So this distance here is 5. If I want to get the distance of a horizontal line, well, that goes from minus 1 to 5. So that distance is 6. But if I want to get a distance of a line that's slanted, I have to use my distance formula. So now that I have figured out that this is 5, 6, and then C, A, B. So I want the measure of the angle ABC. So that means the angle at B in the middle. So I can get the length of C if I want, CB if I want, but I can use 5 and 6. It's just as easy. So I'm going to use my trigonometric ratios for this. So I know that tan of an angle is A, which is the opposite, over the adjacent. So tan of B is going to be opposite over adjacent. So tan is going to be 5 over 6. This is the opposite, this is the adjacent. So tan of B is 5 over 6. So if I want to get what B is by itself, I'm going to have to get tan inverse 5 over 6. So just grab my calculator. So tan inverse 5 over 6. And then I get B is equal to 39.81. So it said give your answer correct to 2 decimal places. So this would be the angle B, ABC, and then that's in degrees. And then it says find the length BC. So if I want to get the length of between BC, I have to use a distance formula because it's not just a vertical line or a horizontal line. So my distance formula is here, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So my point So I want to get B, C. So C is -1, 8, and B is 5, 3. So if I want to get the distance in between now, I'm going to first write out my formula. So so I have to label one of them x1, y1, and the other x2, y2. And then I'm going to have to write out my equation. So x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So x2 is 5, so minus x1, so that's minus 1 squared, plus y2, which is 3, minus y1, so that's minus 8 squared. So then that's going to be 5 minus 1, so that'll be 5 plus 1, which will give me 6 squared, and then 3 minus 8, so that'll be minus 5 squared. So then I have this 6 squared, which will give me 36, and minus 5 squared, because a minus by minus is a plus, so I get 25. So then I'm just getting the square root of 36 plus 25, so that'll give me the square root of 61, and that's not a square number, so it's not going to work out evenly, so I can just leave it at that. And then it says hence or otherwise. So I'm just going to write the information that I'm after getting already, so that I know about my triangle. So this point here is B, and that's 5, 3, and then C is -1, 8, and this point here is -1, 3, and I'm after figuring out that the length of this is 5, the length of this is 6, and then the length of this is 60, square root of 61. And I can see that this here is a right angle, so that's going to be important as well. So it says hence or otherwise, find the area of the triangle that goes through the points A, B, and C. I mean the area of this circle. So I want the area of a circle that, so mine isn't going to be extremely accurate, but it's going to be something like this. So a circle that goes through all those corners. So if I want to get, so I have to figure out, in order to get the area of a circle, what I need is the radius, because the area of a circle is pi r squared. So I just need to get the radius in order to get the area of a circle that goes through these points. But there is a theorem in geometry which says that if we have a circle and say we have a line that goes through each corner, and it's a line, say we have a line that goes through and it's the diameter. Well, if that line makes a corner at the edge of the circle at any point, that's going to be a right angle. Similar, we can say that if we have a right angle in a circle, we can say that this is the diameter. So the angle, the theorem is the angle in a semicircle is a right angle. In a semicircle is a right angle. So this is a right angle. This is this must be the diameter then. So the radius is square root of 61 over 2. So it's half the diameter. So the area is pi r squared. So that's going to be pi. Square root of 61 over 2 squared, and they want it in terms of pi. So the square, if we square a square root, it's going to cancel. So it's going to be pi multiplied by 61, and then if we square the 2, it'll be 4. So 61 over 4 pi. So that's going to be the area of the circle that goes through. And then we're asked to find the equation of the line that goes through A that is perpendicular. So this is C, this is A. So we're asked to find the equation of a line that goes through the point A and is perpendicular to the line BC. So it goes through A and is perpendicular to the line BC. So it cuts it at a right angle. So mine isn't, again, my diagram isn't perfect, but see what I mean by that. So we should know that. So we've already got the slope of the line BC. We got that it was slope of the line BC. We got that the slope of BC was minus 5/6. So the line so in order to get the slope of the line that they're talking about, the equation of the line that they're talking about, we're going to need a point on the line, and we're going to need to have a slope. So firstly, we know a point on the line because it goes through A. So it goes through A, so a point is minus 1, 3. So in order to get the slope, the only way we can get that is because we're told it's perpendicular to BC. Perpendicular slopes multiply to give minus 1, and that comes up a fair bit. Perpendicular slopes and multiply to give minus 1. A handy way of thinking about this is we flip, say if we had a slope of a half. To get the perpendicular, we turn it upside down, so it'll be 2/1, and we change the sign. If you have a slope of 5/1, well, that's the same as 5, but we turn it upside down and it becomes minus 1/5. If you have a slope of minus 3/2, it becomes 2/3 is a perpendicular. So if we have a slope of minus 5/6, the perpendicular is going to have a slope of 6/5. So we have a slope of so the slope of this line that we have is 6/5. A point that it goes through, we know it goes through is A, so that's minus 1, 3. So the formula for the equation of a line is y minus y1 is equal to x minus x1, and I'll just show you that here, 1 second. So it's this one here, y minus y1 is equal to x minus x1. So y minus y1 is equal to x minus x1, where m is equal to the slope and x1, y1 is the point that it goes through. So we're going to call this x1, y1. So y minus y1, so minus 3, is equal to m, which is 6/5, x minus x1, so minus 1. So so then we might multiply both sides by 5 to get rid of our fraction. So 5 by y minus 3 is equal to 6, and that'll be x minus 1. So that'll be x plus 1. So then 5 by y is 5y. 5 by minus 3 is minus 15. 6 by x gives me 6x. 6 by 1 gives me 6. And then I might bring everything to the one side. So I'll bring 6x plus 6, and then bring my 5y over, so it'll become minus 5y, and then bring my minus 15 over, so it'll become plus 15, and then is equal to 0. And then I might add my 6 and my 15 together, so it'll be 6x minus 5y plus 21 is equal to 0. And that is the equation of that one that goes through A and is perpendicular to the point BC. And that is our answer for that. Thank you.